Hey there, gamers. DreamcastGuy here. Today we're talking about PlayStation because Sony just shut down maybe one of their best studios, and everybody is instantly pissed. I'm doing my best to keep my cool, but I have to admit that I hate this era of acquisitions. Whether it is Xbox or Tencent or anybody, it feels like so many of these companies that have billions of dollars of acquisition budget buy companies, have them do like one game and then do massive layoffs. Even if the game is a success, even if the games are great, even if the games are filled with passion and stuff, these acquisitions never end good. Now, keep in mind, Sony doesn't do as many buyouts as other people have done, right? They've bought pretty much Bungie. They've bought stuff here and there. But Bluepoint was considered to be their best dollar-for-dollar purchase, and they just told everybody to get out. They literally haven't even announced it publicly yet. The employees are leaking the fact that Sony just sent out a mass email saying, the studio is shut, grab your stuff and get out. Let's look at the news. Let's talk about it. And I want to explain why this happened, because this is straight up Sony mismanagement. PlayStation badly playing the game of PlayStation. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be honest, I was actually at the gym. A ton of subscribers have been sending this to me, so I'm actually wearing my gym clothes. I'm very sweaty, as you can see, but I wanted to talk about this. So a lot of people have been curious because Bluepoint Games has been very oddly silent. In fact, a lot of their social media, the last post of theirs was in 2024. This is literally the Bluepoint Games account right here. They don't tweet, they don't do anything. But there's been a lot of rumblings about what they've been up to. You see, they did the Demon's Souls remake. Before that, they did the incredibly legendary Shadow of the Colossus remake, also for PlayStation. And when they got bought out 5 years ago, everybody was so excited, right? Hey, are they going to remake Bloodborne? Are they going to be a sub-studio that helps PlayStation actually release games faster? It turns out no. So we know what they were actually up to. There was tons of leaks, including screenshots and a little bit of gameplay that they had them working on a God of War games as a service project. Now, from the leaks, including screenshots and all sorts of environments and stuff, it was going to be a game that took place in the ancient Greek timeline, basically in the world of God of War 1, going through all this different stuff. Hey, go and do random quests for the gods every single day. Get your login bonuses. And obviously, that is an incredibly stupid idea. Okay. If you don't watch my videos very much, I hate all this games as a service crap because it's not just the fact that games as a service is 100 times more expensive than making actually good single player games. Because when you make a good game, it's got a beginning, a middle, and an end. You finish it, right? Then you work on the next project or DLC or something. But games as a service, the team never scales down. The team never really stops until they just straight up run out of players. Because of it, the budgets are bigger, the requirements are bigger, and honestly, it just basically kills studios. Games as a service just kills studios. I mean, straight up, Naughty Dog admitted the fact that they canceled The Last of Us Online, even though it was a good game, because they were like, okay, our options are make new stuff or become The Last of Us Online studio. Bloomberg, PlayStation shutting down Bluepoint Games. A shocking end for a well-respected studio. This is the thing. They are literally killing them for their own choices, right? It's not that Bluepoint messed up or that Bluepoint was going too slow or that Bluepoint games aren't selling. Everything they did turned to gold. They were the studio that won awards. And what happens? They're just gone. Why weren't they at least kept as a remaster remake studio? You know, I think we know the answer to this, and I think what it is that they did say they wanted to create some original IP and stuff like that. It's the fact that, honestly, the reason they're trying to do this is because, really, I think Sony and every other company right now is obsessed with maximum profitability. How can we make our own version of Fortnite? How much money can we make without spending a penny, right? And I think this is just really backfiring for the teams that are the most ambitious. This company probably makes the best games, but maybe they're not the cheapest, right? They do actually require budgets and QA and time and polish. And every company now goes, no, how can we instantly just turn on the money printer? Roughly 70 employees will be impacted by the Bluepoint closure. Bluepoint was working on a God of War live service game until it was canceled early last year. The studio then put their last year pitching and trying to determine what they do next. So literally, they were working on their next game and they said, actually, get out. PlayStation coming up with bad ideas. I got one more in me. What the F literally makes no sense. They could remake God of War, Uncharted, Infamous, Sly Cooper, Ratchet & Clank, Bloodborne, Heavy Rain, Dark Souls, Ico, and far more. No reason to close them just to save money when they could make games that make more money. This is the thing right now. PlayStation does something that genuinely I don't think that Microsoft or Nintendo do. They have a different lane of laziness, which is the fact that PlayStation, in a lot of ways, I think is the default console right now. A lot of people, if you're like, hey, you walk into Walmart, you walk into Best Buy, and you want a new console, something to play with the bros, or something to, I want to get back into gaming for the first time. Most people pick a PlayStation. It's got the most games, the most exclusives, games run the best on it. It's got the biggest online ecosystem, so there's players online with everything. Yeah, we all get that. But it's now making it where PlayStation no longer has that drive to actually make games because everybody else is for them. Every game that sells through the PlayStation Store, they get a 30% cut. If you buy a $100 special edition of BioShock 4, bam, $30 instantly goes to Sony. No work, no maintenance, no patches, no anything. Sony has gotten to a point where by their own public financial reports, they're making hundreds of billions of dollars this generation by not making games. And I'm annoyed about the fact that they could still do this, right? How cheap was it to really keep Bluepoint around? You bought them for very, very little. You got a great deal buying it. You could say you spent too much for Bungie. Bungie getting layoffs and stuff, that makes sense to me. But Bluepoint literally is beloved. And if anything, one of the main criticisms people have about PlayStation is their over-reliance on remasters. You had the best remaster studio in the world. Why not use it? This one hurts because they had a lot of outward metrics. I thought they were reliable. What is PlayStation doing? This is the worst refresh I've hit in years. As a great man once said, my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. This is crazy. They never had a misfire. Look at this. Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection, Gravity Rush Remastered, literally the God of War Collection. Every single thing they did for Sony sold and sold and sold. Sorry, we told you to make a live service game. You couldn't fit our impossibly stupid idea, so you get taken out back and shot. Screw this. Excuse my anger. I'm not meaning to seem so actually viciously annoyed, but I feel like this is a problem that just keeps persisting. The plague of the industry is financial laziness. But what are you going to do? Another freaking round of layoffs. Huzzah. Thank you so much for watching, gamers. If you could please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. All right, I'm going to go shave my terrible looking beard. I see those comments. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.